I'm walking this evening in Winslow Road in Shaker Heights, Ohio. And I'm not the only one out tonight. Lots of people are walking this evening, and lots of people have walked this stretch of road, this sidewalk. This is a 100-year-old neighborhood, duplexes that are designed to look like single-family homes. They once had only one mailbox. Now they have two. But they once had one mailbox so that you could move to Shaker Heights and live here and look like you lived in a nice house. There are accounts of certain times of the year when newlyweds and 20s and 30s would be moving into these houses and turning over and having kids here and moving out and starting their lives in other neighborhoods of Shaker Heights or in other parts of Cleveland, or moving out into the world. So this is not new territory. People have been walking here, and I hope you got to see a little bit of that moon. It's a beautiful, beautiful moon coming up through the trees, and people have been watching that moon forever. People in the middle of deserts, thousands of miles away, tens of thousands of years ago, really looked up to that moon in amazement and astonishment, with all of their worries and all of their contentments. So I'm happy to be here in this time. It's a time of really, really amazing things. It's a time when we can get sick and have a really good chance of recovering. It's a time where we can find love, and if it doesn't work out, we can find love again. It's a time of experiments in community. It's a time of experiments in work. And of course, it has its problem, it has its challenges. But this is also one of the first times in the modern era, at least, and by modern I mean in recorded history, at least, where we can absolutely heal, right? We can heal from things. We can heal from our horrible childhood insecurities and wounding. We can heal from our losses. We can heal from our own selves. And to be honest, a lot of my wounding, and maybe I'll get around to talking about the spiritual stuff sometime, a lot of my wounding was my own doing. A lot of my wounding, I was not wounded by the church. I was not wounded by mysticism. I was not wounded by those traditions, and I know that's a privilege, because a lot of people are. A lot of people have been. But a lot of my wounding has been my own hand and my own internal miscalculations. My own my own tendency toward ambition. Not ambition and being seen or recognized, or financial ambition, definitely not, but ambition in trying to make this life something, right? Trying to make this life work for me in some way. So, but here we are in this really, really strange time where no one in the history of humanity would recognize us. But we figured out some things. I promise you, we figured out some things. We know how humans heal. Long story short, we know some ways that humans can heal. And if you see trauma, you understand that it's the biggest, longest public health crisis that we've had as a species. It affects pretty much all of us, and we've been largely impotent from being able to heal ourselves. And now we know how to heal. I see clients heal every single day that I work. So, say what you want about technology. Say what you want about the quality of our communities. Say what you want about our inability to be present with ourselves. Say what you want about morals, about decency. It's okay. We figured out some stuff. And I think we figured out one of the most important pieces in being human, which is how to get past things. Because when you get past something, you have the opportunity to live a different kind of life. You have an opportunity to have different kinds of experiences. And you have the opportunity to show other people how humans heal. You have an opportunity to have a dual footing in this world. Have one foot with knowledge of the underworld and another foot with the knowledge of health. And that's a powerful, powerful place to stand. So I really do believe that I am one of the most fortunate people on the planet to, not only now, but in the history of humanity, to be here, to have done some of my own healing, and to be fortunate enough, even this weekend, I'm training a room of 15 therapists how to do EMDR therapy. And earlier in the week, I trained about 75 therapists in how to do a version of Flash, which lets us process trauma without distress, which is amazing. It is beyond amazing. So I'm so fortunate. I'm so fortunate to have had my woundings. I'm so fortunate to have survived. I'm so fortunate to have had the privilege to be able to heal. And I'm fortunate to be playing a role in the training of healers. And I'm fortunate to play a role in consulting on how humans heal. So, it's amazing to be here, to be in this life, to be on this street, to be in this city. It's an interesting city. It's a city of big ambition, right? It's a city that has an identity that's relatively unique. It's intentionally diverse. And yes, it's got its own gentrifications and it's got its own challenges, but it's a city that's been in its own process of self-recovery for 100 years and self-exploration for 100 years. And it's a mess, so hats off. Hats off to you. Hats off to you, Shaker Heights and in Ohio, and your adventures and misadventures and race relations and trying to do things different in terms of education and public service. Yeah. So, and to make things even more interesting, the real irony of being here on Winslow Road and currently renting the upper unit of 18436/18434 Winslow Road, which is where Mia and Pearl lived in the New York Times bestseller and Little Fires Everywhere. So it's fascinating, this life. It's interesting. Being here what makes me want to create. Being here makes me want to explore what's here. It makes me want to point out things that I see, because I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be here in Shaker long. It's long enough to let my nephew graduate. But here we are. Our little house. Again, not so little house. On this little stretch of road and this little piece of the universe. Just feeling gratitude for being able to see the moon tonight. Gratitude for being able to be here. And this life at this place at this time. And to be doing the things that I'm doing professionally and privately and in my personal life, being able to, as best I can, try to take care of my mom, try to take care of my nephew, and try to take care of myself.